Look with me in Psalms 119 and verse 18. Open my eyes that I may see wondrous things from your law. Open my eyes. The implication is, it's possible that wondrous things are all around you, but you can't see them. And so I want to tell you a story today, and I want you to lean in and listen for just a moment. It's a story that was first told by Mr. Russell Conwell. He heard this story from an Arab guide when he was touring the Middle East back in the late 1800s. He was on camelback, and around the campfire, his guide told him this story. Mr. Russell Conwell took the story and put it in a pamphlet, and it was printed, and it sold 7 million copies. His story is this. He said there lived in South Africa, it's a true story, a man by the name of Ali Hafid. He was a poor farmer. He had an ox, he had a plow, he had a lot of land. He lived in a very meager house, but in many ways, he was blessed and he was content until a stranger came by his house. He worked hard for everything he had day after day, and a stranger was passing through, a traveler was passing through, and he stopped by and told this old farmer about what was happening in India. In those days, they were discovering mines, diamond mines in India. And you know how things get exaggerated. And he said, what you should do, instead of working so hard and working yourself silly and you don't have much to show for it, even though the man was content. If you're content and you're blessed, you got enough for you and your family, you are blessed. But the man, when he started hearing about people who were finding diamonds the size of rocks and becoming fabulously rich, became totally discontented with his life. And he sold the whole farm. And he said, I'm going to chase the diamonds. I'm going to find them. And he hugged his wife goodbye, put his money in a sack, said goodbye to his children, put them up temporarily. And he said, when I come back, we'll be fabulously wealthy and you'll be set up for life. And he goes off as a soldier of fortune looking for diamonds in India. And after searching and searching and searching, he ends up writing a note that says, and I quote, "There's no diamonds anywhere." He jumped into a raging river and took his own life. Now here's the part of the story that's amazing. It's a true story. The man who bought the farm hooked up the same ox, the same plow, the same field, the same old farmhouse he lived in, and he ate the same food. But one day, as he was plowing his fields, he kept noticing these black rocks that were extremely annoying to him, and he was throwing them every few feet to the side of the field, stacking them up. Finally, he hits one so big he can't hardly get around it, and he thinks as the sun hits it, it has rainbow colors in it, and he thinks to himself, that's pretty. I don't have anything on the mantle in my little fireplace, my humble place, and I'm gonna put that up there as decorations. And he did that. And a priest came by to welcome this man who was new to the community to that area. And the priest, while he was talking, froze in mid-sentence when he saw this rock on the mantle. He said, where did you get that? And he said, I got it on this property. I actually got that one out of my garden, and they're all over this property. As a matter of fact, I can't plow a field without running into so many. I have to stack them up. He said, you don't understand. That is a diamond in the raw. That is a diamond right there. And sure enough, they took it to specialists, and that diamond, that first diamond, was worth $25,000 in the 1800s. It was the birth of the world's largest diamond field, the famous Golando diamond mines, that the Queen of England herself said, I want my diamonds to come from that place. And most of the diamonds that the Queen wears came from these minefields that the man bought and dug out that somebody else said, it's not worth anything. It's out there, it's not here. Now think about what I'm saying. The man who flung himself into that raging river never realized that he had been living on acres of diamonds. He thought it was out there. He thought if I could just find it out there, if I could just go out there, that I could really find something of great worth, never realizing that he was living in acres of diamonds. Now that's how he meant that lesson to be, is check out where you are before you start trying to find it out there somewhere. But I want to preach now because I remember reading a story about a prodigal son. I don't know what he had in his mind when he left the father's house. I know that he asked for his inheritance. I'm sure that he had some friends who were telling him, man, out there, they're having fun. If you just leave the father's house, out there, there's a party going on like you've never experienced. Out there, there's freedom. Out there, there's unbelievable fun that you can never have in the father's house. And you ought to leave the father's house and get out there. Whatever it was said to him, it caused him to leave the riches of his father's house. And when he got out there, you know the story. He lost everything that he had, and he began to believe the lie that the grass was greener on the other side. And the bottom line is he ended up broke, and he ended up in a pig pen, eating the slop with the animals, until finally he realized and he understood, I'm going right back to what I left, because everything that I've ever wanted was in my Father's house. It wasn't out here, it's in the Father's house. I'm preaching to you today that we right here are living in acres of diamonds. If you know you're saved, if you know you're going to heaven, if you know that things are right with God, you are living in acres of diamonds. Take a praise break and I'll keep moving. Don't sell out so cheaply. Don't believe the lies. You may be giving up something that somebody else would give anything to have. You see, in the process of making a diamond, it takes time. A diamond is born because of intense heat and pressure. It's the intense heat and pressure on carbon monoxide that takes just coal and causes a diamond to be born. In other words, listen carefully, if the pressure is just right, if the heat is just right, and the coal will submit and not get up and move away from the heat and move away from the pressure, but only the pressure and the heat can cause the coal to give birth to a diamond. That's where diamonds come from. I'm telling you that you shouldn't run from your trials. You shouldn't run from them, for in them you will learn more. You will become more. You will do more. Quit jumping from marriage to marriage. Quit running from church to church every time something happens you don't like. Stay right there where you're under heat and you're under pressure, because only then can diamonds be born. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel so that you can get notifications on new posts and live streams. Be sure to share this video with a friend. You never know how you can send the Word of God right when somebody needs to hear it. And you can use your social influence for good, for the glory of God. Thanks again. Share it with a friend, and I really appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.